96 hours. That's how long it took to end Iran's 45-year control over the Strait of Hormuz without the United States firing the opening shot. Not negotiated, not brokered, surrendered. At 8:47 Monday morning, President Trump announced a 5-day ceasefire. By Friday dawn, 3 fortified Iranian islands were under U.S. Marine control. The strait was reopening under American naval escort, and Iran's asymmetric warfare doctrine, the blueprint every rival military spent decades studying, had been tested at full scale and failed completely. 5 carrier strike groups, 25,000 Marines, and the most expensive proof-of-concept demonstration in modern warfare. That geographic choke points don't matter when the opponent can rewrite geography in 4 days. Here's how it happened, and why Beijing, Moscow, and Pyongyang are recalculating everything. The ceasefire wasn't about stopping power plant strikes. It was about repositioning the board while Iran thought they were buying time. Hour 0, Trump announces productive conversations. Hour 6, USS Gerald R. Ford clears Norfolk at 30 knots. Hour 12, USS Abraham Lincoln receives new tasking, offensive posture. Hour 24, USS Harry S. Truman pulled from a $2.3 billion refueling overhaul. Cost, 2 years of maintenance. Gain, mass. Hour 30, USS Theodore Roosevelt crosses the Indian Ocean at flank speed. 5 carrier strike groups converging simultaneously. Behind them, 23 destroyers, 6 cruisers, 11 attack submarines. Tomahawk cells, 3,400 precision cruise missiles. But that wasn't the punch. That was the distraction. The real weapon was loading 1,200 miles south. 11 amphibious assault ships assembling off Diego Garcia. USS Tripoli, USS Boxer, USS Bataan, USS Wasp, USS Macon Island, each carrying 1,800 Marines, F-35B stealth fighters, MV-22 Ospreys, CH-53K helicopters, LCAC hovercraft with M1 Abrams tanks, and enough ammunition to sustain combat for 60 days without resupply. Total embarked force, 25,000 Marines. That's not a raid. That's an invasion force. Heading for 3 tiny islands Iran had controlled since 1971. Inside Tehran's IRGC command bunker, military planners ran the numbers. The Iranian War College teaches asymmetric response to conventional superiority. The doctrine, impose cost. Shahed drones at $30,000 force $4 million Patriot intercepts, 133 to 1 cost ratio. Fast boats at $500,000 force $15 million per day carrier patrols, 30 to 1 cost ratio. Sea mines at $5,000 close lanes worth $50 billion per day, 10 million to 1 cost ratio. The math worked for 15 years. Carriers stayed out of the Gulf. American presidents talked tough and did nothing. But somebody in Washington did different math. Hour 48, 12. A-10 Warthogs begin systematic destruction of Iran's fast boat fleet. Not with missiles. With the GAU-8 Avenger 30mm cannon, a gun so powerful the aircraft was built around it. Each round weighs 1 pound, exits at 3,500 feet per second, punches through 2 inches of steel. An IRGC fast boat has a fiberglass hull 3 millimeters thick. The gun fires 3,900 rounds per minute. A 2-second burst turns a $500,000 speedboat into floating confetti. Over 72 hours, A-10s destroy 1,300 fast attack boats at Bandar Abbas, Chabahar, and Bushehr. Cost to Iran, $650 million. Cost to U.S., $47,000 in ammunition. Meanwhile, Ukrainian Sting interceptors, $2,000 man-portable anti-drone missiles, deploy on every American destroyer. Iran launches 800 Shahed drones in 72 hours. 799 shot down. Not by $4 million Patriots, by $2,000 Stings. The cost equation just inverted. Iran spending $24 million per wave. US spending $1.6 million. Still shooting down 99.9%. Underground, GBU-72 bunker busters, 5,000-pound penetrators, collapsed tunnel entrances protecting Iran's coastal missile batteries, not destroying the missiles, burying them alive. By hour 72, Iran's asymmetric layer operates at 8% of original capacity. Hour 84, Friday 0300 local time. 24 MV 22 Ospreys launch from USS Tripoli. Target, Abu Musa Island. 700 IRGC troops, coastal artillery, anti-ship missiles, radar installations, and a minefield Iran believed made assault impossible. What came wasn't conventional. Ospreys flying at 280 knots, 500 feet above water, overfly the entire minefield and insert Marine raiders directly onto elevated positions. Simultaneously, not sequentially, simultaneously, another wave hits Greater Tunb and Lesser Tunb. 3 objectives, 1 window. 0 time for Iranian commanders to coordinate. While vertical assault disables radar and communications, LCAC hovercraft cross the same mine-infested waters at 40 knots. An LCAC doesn't sail through water. It flies 7 feet above it on pressurized air cushions. A pressure mine detonates when a hull displaces water. An LCAC doesn't displace water. It displaces air. It flies over mines like stepping over tripwires. Delivering M1. Abrams tanks, LAV-25s, HIMARS artillery, enough firepower to flatten a city block in 90 seconds. IRGC garrisons watch F-35Bs circling overhead in stealth mode, broadcasting on guard frequency. Surrender or die. You have 5 minutes. All 3 islands secure in 11 hours. U.S. casualties, 14 wounded, 0 killed. Iranian, 31 killed, 287 wounded, 419 surrendered. At 14:47 local time, the American flag goes up. The Iranian flag that flew for 53 years comes down. The islands weren't the objective. They were the platform. Within 6 hours, Marine teams offload HIMARS launchers onto Abu Musa. From elevated positions, HIMARS covers the entire strait and reaches 15 kilometers inland. Every ship transiting is now under American fire control from shore-based positions that cannot be sunk. 15 miles northwest sits Kharg Island, processing 90% of Iran's crude exports, worth $500 billion annually. USS Abraham Lincoln Strike Group forms a naval cordon around Kharg, not bombarding, not assaulting, surrounding. Oil terminals, pipelines, storage tanks left deliberately intact. Tehran understands immediately. Intact infrastructure inside a hostile perimeter means the infrastructure transfers to whoever controls the ground. At 17:12 Friday, 17 hours before ceasefire expires, Iranian foreign minister contacts Omani intermediaries not to extend the ceasefire, to negotiate opening the strait. Iran's supreme leader doesn't announce capitulation. That's not how this works. What happens instead? Hour 90. Foreign minister contacts Oman. Hour 96. State media announces strait reopening for de-escalation. Hour 102. IRGC orders fast boats to return to port. Hour 108. Negotiators arrive in Muscat for pragmatic security discussions. The word surrender appears nowhere. The phrase pragmatic security arrangement appears 11 times. The distinction is diplomatic language for domestic audiences. The reality underneath is identical. What changed permanently? The Marines did not leave the islands. The HIMARS didn't pack up. LCAC logistics didn't stop. Under the Muscat framework, American forces retained temporary security presence on Abu Musa and the Tunbs. In military terms, temporary means as long as the force chooses to hold it. For 45 years, Iran's deterrence rested on, the strait is ours. We can close it faster than you can reopen it. That required 4 things: Iranian-controlled islands, intact minefields, functional coastal missiles, fast boat swarms. Every single requirement no longer exists. Every naval strategist in Beijing, Moscow, Pyongyang is asking, if the US can do this to Iran in 96 hours, what does that mean for our asymmetric strategies? The strait wasn't just Iran's card. It was proof of concept that geographic advantages could hold the world's largest navy at arm's length indefinitely. That proof just got tested at full scale and failed completely. China's artificial islands in the South China Sea, Marines just seized 3 fortified islands in 11 hours. With hovercraft over minefields, Russia's S-400 carrier killer systems, the US flew 240-plus strike sorties in 72 hours. Iranian S-300s didn't stop one. North Korea's Seoul is too close to risk war? Iran thought the strait was too narrow. It didn't matter. 96 hours, 5 carrier strike groups, 25,000 Marines, 11 hours on the islands, 45 years of Iranian fortification. Erased. The math was never complicated. It just required someone willing to do it. And now every rival military knows, geographic choke points don't protect you when your opponent can rewrite geography in 4 days. Subscribe. We don't guess, we calculate whether it works. Bye for now.